All right, so since I'm in these trainings today and tomorrow, we cannot move ahead with Act 4 and Act 5, but I promise we will have the play finished next week. Instead, what you guys are going to do is you're going to get a jump start on thinking about and practicing for your summative project. I know I've talked a lot about this. You guys will be reenacting a scene from the play. And this is a good opportunity for you to get practice doing that before it counts for a summative. And I'll be able to give you guys some feedback on it, and you can test run picking out your own group for this, which I think is a pretty big incentive for you. So what you guys are going to do today is you're going to watch a very short clip from the movie O, which is a modern reenactment of Othello. I've given you a bit of a summary on your sheet today, and I've included a URL that'll take you to a tiny URL to find the video clip. In case that tiny URL is not working, I've also included on your handout how to search for the clip on YouTube. Okay, you should be able to use one of those options to find the clip. It's only 2.5 minutes long. I'd go ahead and watch it with headphones. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your Chromebook. And then there are just a few questions that I want you to answer about that clip. One of the questions will involve you to go back and look at certain lines from the play. So make sure you're using a book or using one of the packets around the room. But essentially your goal is to be able to think about how the writers and producers and actors in this movie are transforming Shakespeare's original work into something new. That ability to notice similarities and differences and to make that analysis of why certain changes had to be made, that's a critical skill, and it's a crucial one because it's one of the standards that you're going to master in this unit. So this is kind of your formative attempt to think through those types of questions. And then tomorrow what you're going to do while I'm in the second part of the training is you guys are going to practice just with 2 pages of a scene. Okay, so after we're done with Act 5, the scene you're going to recreate will be much longer, and you'll be creating a prompt book with it. But for today's work, this is just practice. Okay, so what you're doing today does not have to have anything to do with the project you do at the end, other than practice. So for Thursday, you guys will pick groups of at least 3 people, and you will get to choose a scene from Acts 1 through 3, just 2 pages of a scene. And you'll think about a new context for that scene. So similarly to the movie O, where they've adapted that scene to a high school with high school students, and there's a basketball star, and so there's a conflict there with sports and competition. You will think about how those 2 pages from Othello could be adapted into a different context, how you could reimagine the conflict or the characters or the theme development. And your group will come up with the new context. You'll think about why would this context work? And I've given you some suggestions and ideas to consider on the handout. And then you'll rewrite those 2 pages. Given the new context, what would the language look like? What would those characters be saying? And you have full creative license to completely come up with a new script. And then on Friday, we'll practice sharing out your new situations and your new context and explaining why, because that part's a critical part of meeting that standard. But then also maybe sharing out a few lines. And then we'll talk about the fact that in Act 4 we're going to be reading the original version of Othello, so we might practice with some language. As far as the final project goes, depending on how your groups work and how well your scenes are, I might allow you to keep your same group for the project at the end. In fact, if that happens, you could build off what you've already created, possibly, and you'll get feedback from me, so that will be awesome. I'm really excited for Friday because I want to see the culmination of your work. And if you have any questions, please message me. Also, if you need to take the Act 3 quiz because you didn't have a completed Act 3 packet, I will be in school before school today. I'll be here after school today. I'll be here during 5th, 6th, and 7th period today. I will be out tomorrow, but Friday I'll be here all day. So you need to make sure you arrange time to make that up, because if it's not completed by Friday, that is a 0. All right, I miss you all. I promise things will get back to normal. I hate all these trainings, but if I'm not there, my voice isn't considered, and the English department doesn't get representation, and that's really important. So, message me if you need anything. I promise I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Have a happy Wednesday, guys.